What's up, guys? This is Crypto with James talking to you today about Casper. Casper is a crypto that I think long term has a lot of potential to run up very, very nicely in price. Partnered with some big boys, starting to grow, and now have a grants program out that I'm really bullish on. I think they've got a couple of years to really position themselves to be one of the top 50, possibly cryptos, maybe more. Um, Also, in some news, New York Times has given the softest, most sympathetic write-up of the Sam Bankman-Fried story, which has annoyed a lot of the crypto community. So I'll cover that as well, um, because I don't get the sympathy, but they've paid. Obviously, Sam Bankman-Fried's paid the right people. So I'll talk about that in this video as well. Before I get into it, though, guys, if you're new to the channel, these are the first 26 coins that I owned when I made the channel, and the first 26 coins I spoke about when I made the channel. Had you just put in $100, just $100 into each of these coins when I released the videos about them, and you ignored them for 2 years, did everything wrong as an investor, everything, even doing everything wrong, you would still be in profit for 6.3K from a $2,600 investment, doing everything wrong. Now, if you just sold these coins like I did last year when the markets rocketed up, that $100 into each coin would have netted you a profit of 123 grand. That's the difference between doing the correct thing, which is selling when the markets are flying up, and holding into a recession. Now, these aren't the coins I own anymore. I sold these. But if you want to see my current portfolio, you can go to copymycrypto.com. The link is right above me. On that site, I share my portfolio. I give the members live, real-time updates whenever I buy or sell a crypto. I have tutorials set up as well for the members because a lot of them have never invested in anything. I release videos on a daily basis talking about the markets. And guys, there's a history of success here. No one in 2020, no YouTuber in 2020 was talking about Phantom. My Udemy course was called The Best Cryptocurrency Investment of 2020, and it was strictly all about Phantom. I said Phantom would 100x. Obviously, it did way, way more than that. Most people missed Phantom. Ended up doing a 677x. So if you'd put in 2 grand, you'd have made 1.3 million from when I did the course to its high. Now, I'll find another Phantom when I do. I'm not going to do a Udemy course like last time. I'm going to go onto my site. I'm going to tell the members all about it, what gains I think it can have, what percentage of my money I'm putting in, and they can copy along and make the same profits I do. If that interests you, go read the site and understand everything on the site. You can check with the YouTube channel's history to see that it's all true as well. The link, like I said, is above me. So, Casper, 300 million market cap. Circulating supply is 10.6 billion. There's still about 700 million tokens to come out. Chart looks horrendous. Chart looks horrendous. Now, I will point out, Casper effectively launched when the markets were tanking, that first round of the markets dropping in sort of May. And it did a little bit of a rally when the markets had that second wave rally in November, December, but not much. And when you actually look at it objectively, that is about as bad a chart as you'll ever see. In spite of that, I'm really bullish on Casper. So they only launched, and they've only been around for basically a year and a half, right? In that time, they have got up and running. They've got their proof of stake blockchain built off of Casper's CBC spec. If you're unsure what the CBC spec is, that's the correct by construction specification. That specification allows rapid adoption of blockchain services at every enterprise level, from the lowest to the top. And by relying on the proof of stake consensus, Casper can scale massively and can provide database management solutions. Casper and the Casper token are the result of years of research by Casper Labs. And Casper Labs exists to provide enterprise level services and support for organizations building on the Casper network, similar to how Red Hat supports organizations building with Linux. Um, thanks to the team's experience using, thanks to the team's unique experience running services at places like Adobe, Avalara, and Google, Casper is uniquely poised to elevate Casper as the de facto blockchain for the growing number of enterprise organizations that want to build in Web3. Now, Casper feasibly should be one of the best positioned, but I will point out that there are a number of different cryptos in enterprise that have been in enterprise for longer and have probably had more infrastructure preparation. But there are a few things worth noting with regards to Casper. So, not least of which, first of all, they've got their grants program up and running. This is a $25 million grants program that's exclusively to support projects and creators that are building on the Casper public mainnet. The fund will provide grant support for innovations in dApps, DeFi, gaming, NFTs, which solely focus on the Casper network. And look, $25 million is nothing to sniff at. There are bigger grants programs out there, but 25 million is not bad. Casper also have a very strong a partnership with a number of different places from minority programmers, which I quite like as a concept. Minority Programmers Association is basically the STEM fields. They're looking to spread education to STEM, spread education of STEM to underfunded communities, effectively, which I think is a nice idea. In terms of their ecosystem, they've got to grow it. They've got a lot of validators, a lot of staking pools. They've got some wallets. In terms of gaming and NFTs, they're starting to look a bit stronger. You know, Metacask, as an example, is a great one. You know, there was a $2.5 million sale for a Macallan NFT, Macallan whiskey NFT. If you've never had Macallan, super expensive, but it's delicious. Is one that I would be like, it is a treat. It should be a treat for most people. You're going to be paying a lot of money for, you know, a shot, but I'd buy the bottle personally. But Metacask had their $2.5 million sale on the NFT for the Macallan whiskey barrel. So, you know, and Metacask is entirely built upon Casper. So, you know, really good, strong result. This is the CEO of Casper, or the creator. And they consist of three major things: the Casper Association, the Casper Labs, and the Developers DAO. Obviously, like Casper Labs is the one that does the research. Casper Association is simply a not-for-profit Swiss account organization. And look, their vision is to facilitate solutions for the generations of web builders and businesses looking to invent the world of tomorrow through blockchain. So they strive for scale without sacrifice, minimal risk, easy to use, flexibility, low cost, which they are low cost, and future proof. And, you know, fundamentally, Casper, in terms of throughput, is really strong. In terms of positioning, they're starting to look better. They are positioned with the World Economic Forum. That is legitimately one of my least favorite organizations in the world, because I think they manipulate everything around them. I'm not a fan, but I do have to acknowledge that you look at the companies that have partnered with the World Economic Forum, and they've ended up being the most successful. And they're usually the ones that are disrupting the current ecosystem. So when, you know, Airbnb is an example, they're partnered with World Economic Forum. Airbnb revolutionized the way that people do holidays or stays. And Casper is, you know, again, one of those that's positioned. And they're looking to build, you know, they've got NFT platforms up and running. As I said, Metacask was an example of one. for premium whiskey investments. It's the world's first digital marketplace. Really interesting idea. And like I said, you saw a $2.5 million NFT for the Macallan whiskey barrel NFT. I'm liking this. Look, I think they've got a lot of legs here. But and they've got solutions to a number of different problems within the crypto space. You know, they've done Casper Punks as well. They've done IPWE, which is a company that ended up gaining 300 new clients in less than 4 months, thanks to sort of the solutions Casper provided. IPWE have ended up with about 4 across a couple of years prior to working with Casper, built up about $15 million worth of funding to then grow better with Casper than with any of the funding that they actually earn. So again, good sign. And fundamentally, what I'm keen on with Casper is throughput's really, really high. They are really strong in terms of positioning with, you know, an organization like the World Economic Forum. Their security is top notch, and they're still not on Binance. You got to remember, like, Casper is backed by a few different VCs, you know, Draper, Arrington, Hashkey, OKX. But more than that, and I'm less bothered about VCs more and more and more as time goes on, but VCs, you know, it's worth paying attention to which VCs are in. But in terms of like the exchanges that Casper's on, you know, Casper's doing, you know, decent volume, not amazing. I'd expect way higher than that for a market cap of 300 million, but they're only really on KuCoin, OKX, Huobi, BitGet, Crypto.com. They've not got Binance. They've not got Coinbase. And I do believe Casper will end up on both of those. And we know the experience of landing on those two exchanges. There's a bounce. There's always a bounce. It's Coinbase bounce. It's the Binance bounce. And I would think that it's probably going to be timed for the next bull cycle, or at least one of those exchanges for the next bull cycle. So we'll see that bounce. Casper right now, you know, has roughly 11 billion tokens. 30 cents a piece would knock it at 3.3 billion. I think 30 cents is very achievable. I actually think 50 cents for Casper is very, very, very achievable. But they do have to grow. So one thing I'll be watching is how does that gaming platform, how do the gaming cryptos grow? How does their NFT cryptos grow? Who are they onboarding in terms of enterprises? I'd really want to see a growth in that. It doesn't have to be big boys. It doesn't have to be Coca-Cola or anything like that. But if you're seeing a progressive growth in terms of enterprises utilizing Casper, then there is a clamoring for that. That bodes really well for the future. Because it's like we saw in the past year. We saw all these big Nike and Adidas and all of that starting to get into metaverses. And again, when there's another bull cycle wave, we'll see these companies have partnered with some cryptos. So, because they always end up doing it during a bull cycle, maybe at the start, or maybe, you know, a third of the way into the bull cycle. But if Casper's built up a network by then businesses will talk to each other, and they'll explain what Casper's benefits are. So if they can grow that, that's the big thing for me over the next couple of years. If they don't, probably won't hit 50 cents. But if they do, 50 cents looks good to me. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you are a returning viewer, hit the subscribe button. These videos will make you money. You don't want to miss them. It also helps the channel, which is a nice thing to do around Christmas. So do it anyway. And if you want to see the coins I own, go to Copy My Crypto. The link's right above me. Is where I share every coin I own. Anytime I buy or sell a coin, I let the members know. I have a tutorial set up for all the members. I release videos on a daily basis talking about the markets, and I have a public record of success. No one in 2020 spoke about Phantom. I was the first person to talk about Ponyo last year, and Ponyo did a couple 100x in a very short space of time. If you want to make those kind of gains, go read the site. Go and bear in mind everything on that site as well can be checked against the YouTube channel's history, so you know it's all true. Um, and when I find the next phantom, I'm going to let my members know, and I'll tell them what percentage of my money I'm putting in. I'll tell them what gains I think it can do, and they can copy along and make the same. If that interests you, if you want to take the work out of it for yourself, go read the site now, guys. And last thing, New York Times. Ugh, I read this article as well. Terrible. So they've done effectively a sympathy piece about Sam Bankman-Fried. It was ridiculous. It was an article yesterday, and it was titled "In the Bahamas: A Lingering Sympathy for Sam Bankman-Fried," um, with their journalist quoting tons of local Bahamians who basically only said positive things about Sam Bankman-Fried. Of course, because he was donating tons of money to the local environment and to the local infrastructure and donating loads of money to local charities. It's the same thing that like anyone like Escobar did. Um, so one resident said he had a good heart, another said they felt bad for him, another said it doesn't make any sense that he should land in prison for what he did. Um, and then uh, one person on Twitter, uh, Cryptonator, said Sam Bankman-Fried did it like Pablo Escobar, donated millions of dollars to a dizzying collection of Bahamian charities, churches, and government entities, including the local police. Um, and according to this New York article, it worked. I think he had a good heart. But he did what Escobar did, which is you donate tons to the local infrastructure, the local environment. People love you while you're doing awful things. So only one person interviewed for the article appeared to negative about the billions of dollars, uh, saying it gave him a negative outlook on crypto. Um, and yeah, New York Times got slammed for it. So, one user asked, "This is embarrassing." Another wrote, "Gotta respect the New York Times for doubling down," as a puff piece. And yeah, the lengths they will go to try to prop up this white collar criminal, and they immediately start trying to criminalize a black nation with gang violence because they started talking about gang violence within the article, within Bahama. It's just a joke. It was terrible, and yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. Um, I I've said this before. I'm going to say it again, guys. I don't think Sam Bankman-Fried will end up doing legitimate time in prison. I've said it. I've said it a bunch of times. And the reason I don't think he's going to do legitimate time in prison is simple. He's got money. He's paid the right people along the way for the last year and a half. We know he did. Everyone knows he did. He was donating money out of his arse to the right politicians. I just don't think he'll do proper time. Maybe a year. But this is the biggest crime since Bernie Madoff. And we won't see anything close to him. I don't think we'll see Sam Bankman-Fried doing anywhere close to the time Madoff did. But let's see. Anyway, what do you guys think as well? Do you think he will do time? If so, how much do you think he'll do? Let me know in the comments down below. And that's it for me, guys. Take it easy. Bye bye.